everyone, long time no see. I hope that this video is meeting you in wellness. I hope that this video is meeting you in peace. I have been away for quite a while. Not really. I've been doing a lot of work in the Botanica, a lot of work in my personal life, and I just kind of wanted to come and update you guys on some things that I've been working on, some things that I've been noticing, downloads, if you will. The first thing that I really wanted to talk about, just to be clear and just to kind of set the tone, I've really been focusing on protection and the importance of being proactive about protection. Spirit has just really been kind of on me about not doing my protection work because I necessarily see a reason to do it, or not necessarily because there's all of these reasons where it's like, okay, now I need to protect myself, but more so coming at it from a proactive standpoint, as in, okay, even though it doesn't seem like I'm in turmoil, or even though it doesn't seem like this is like absolutely necessary for me to do right now, those are actually the best times when we should be working on protection for ourselves. Why? To make sure that everything continues to be going smooth. And the biggest way that Spirit was pointing this out to me was through my menstrual cycle. So I actually really wanted to take a minute out and just talk about menstrual cycles and periods, because a lot of times I feel like women, when we think about our menstrual cycle and our periods, we think of it as like a curse, like, yeah, God cursed women with periods. That was our punishment. A lot of us learned that was a punishment for the Adam and Eve story, the Garden of Eden story. We learned that because of seeing women had periods. So I feel like a lot of times we go through our lives and we look at our periods as a detriment. We look at our periods as something that kind of stops what we have going on. We might be having a lot of goodness and peace and prosperity going on in our lives, and then usually when our period comes, that is the time when we usually have to stop, because now we're in pain and now we're emotional, and now our body is doing all of these different things that it necessarily wasn't doing before. And I just really wanted to kind of just play devil's advocate a little bit and give you a different perspective, because I feel like out of everything that I've experienced in my life, my period has definitely been the number one thing to come back and remind me the importance of self-care. And I know that that's not a perspective that people usually take when they're talking about periods, but I feel like that is a perspective that kind of eases the mood a little bit. When we think about our periods, we usually think about a time where we want to take a rest, where we want to take a break, and we want to cater to ourselves. So I just want to share a couple of things that really did help me to ease the pain during my period, help me to ease my mental during my period, and really it just helped me to have a way better experience. So first of all, let me start out and tell you guys that for my entire life, basically, ever since I first started getting periods, I got my period the summer after the 6th grade. And ever since I first started periods, they were super long, super painful. I had a super heavy period. I had a lot of clotting. I had a lot of nausea. I had pretty much everything in the book that you can imagine. I was dealing with it. I used to be taking 12, 14, 16 Tylenol, Advils, ibuprofen, naproxen, whatever the hell I could get my hands on, because I was just trying to ease the pain. I was just always in so much pain. A little bit of the problem, I do believe, was that I was not using the FAM method, which I want to talk about more extensively at a later time. The FAM method, the FAM method is simply the fertility awareness method. There's a whole book that I did not write. I just simply read it. And I haven't even read it fully extensively, but I've been in and out of the book enough to say that I've been studying it for about 2 years. And it is a natural method that teaches women how to track their periods based on the type of secretions that our vagina is secreting. Is it creamy? Is it very loose and watery? is it a little bit abnormal? Is it kind of thick and like, you know, like blobby? So I feel like the fertility awareness method definitely has helped me be able to keep track of my period and say, okay, this is more like ovulation, you know, along with the other symptoms that I may feel with ovulation. I might have tender breasts. These are real symptoms that I experience. Tender breasts, just raging hormones out of the nowhere. Like I could literally be sitting and not doing anything, and my vagina is like, we are awake. So that is, you know, that is one of the symptoms of ovulation for me. Tracking my period with the fertility awareness method has made me able to say, okay, well, I know my period is probably going to come in the next 10 days. That first day that I start feeling cramps, I'll be able to know, okay, is this ovulation cramps or is this period cramps? So I really want to urge you guys to tap into the fertility awareness method, because that for me was I think it was honestly the #1 game changer, was the fertility awareness method. It's a natural way of tracking your period with no apps, especially considering how political our bodies are becoming now in today's age. I just personally feel like it's a little bit more reliable for me to stray away from the technology of tracking the period. And then also I feel like this is just more accurate. There's nothing more accurate than, you know, me writing down what's going on every day, being able to track it, and then really seeing real results, guys. I wouldn't be talking about it if I didn't see real results. So #1 was the fertility awareness method. And #2, again, I have to go back to proactivity, because once I started to track my period, therefore just giving me more knowledge as to the cycle that my body was operating in, which also changes every month. I want that to be very clear. What I've noticed is, throughout my experiences and my stress levels and just things like that, my period will tend to change. It will change in not only duration, but it will actually change as far as like the moon cycles that it's aligning with. Okay, that's a big key. I feel like that's a big key, because our cycles really do align with the moon. And then just going back to being proactive, once you start to track and say, okay, I know my period is probably coming in X amount of days, or okay, I've been ovulating for about X amount of days. Once you're able to track your cycle, you're able to take those proactive methods. So not only taking pain pills, but also using the CBD oil, the CBD pain oil that I have stocked in the Botanica. And then also, guys, I will be releasing a new THC oil. It is pretty much the same as the CBD oil, except we are using natural THC extracted from the marijuana plant instead of the CBD, which is extracted from the hemp leaf. So I'm really excited about that, especially because the THC oil really did change the game for my period as far as the pain that I was experiencing. The THC oil, the CBD oil, for people that are a little bit iffy about using marijuana, but I will say it has no psychoactive effects. If that's what you're looking for, the high from the THC oil, you're going to be very upset and aggravated, because it's just not going to give you that. However, it does really pinpoint, it really does pinpoint and target pain. And I think it is, for me, is more effective as far as chronic pain. So using my oil, using the pain pills that I've always been using, also herbal baths, guys. In the Botanica, I have stocked the moon cycle bath. I do at least like 1 or 2 baths a day when I'm on my period. My periods used to last for 12 days. Ever since I've been on my proactive methods, they have been 4 to 5 days max. I have not had a period that's lasted over 5 days. So again, let me just go back from the beginning. I track my period. I use the THC and or the CBD oil, and I also take herbal baths. Okay, that's already 3 things. And last but not least, I have to give a special shout out to the moon cycle tea, which is also in the Botanica. These 4 things, guys, I have to say, like, it's literally changed the game as far as how I experience my periods. I no longer have 12-day periods anymore. I have, like I said, 4 to 5 day periods max. I don't clot as much as I used to. I actually had my first experience last year where it took me 3 hours to pass a cyst. And the only reason why I knew that it was a cyst and not a miscarriage is because a miscarriage would have been kind of, you know, like scientifically impossible. I would have been like, it would have been giving Virgin Mary. And I knew it wasn't giving Virgin Mary. It was giving cyst because of just a lot of stress. And after I had that experience, which was more than likely because I was not taking those proactive methods, I wasn't tracking my period, and my period came like in the middle of the night, boom, and it asked me to get up and start taking care of myself. And so at that moment, that's when I kind of realized, like, okay, if I start to, you know, just do it beforehand, you know, do it before it gets to the, oh my gosh, I need attention immediately period. If I work on myself before we get there to that red zone, everything else is going to be a lot easier. So I just want to go back again. I know I'm saying this a million times, but I feel like it's important to just reiterate it. Tracking my period using the FAM method, fertility awareness method, using THC and or CBD oil, also taking my Tylenol, Advil, just the regular pain pills, and also using the moon cycle tea. I drink the tea once or twice a day. It just depends on how I feel. Guys, sometimes I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't feel like drinking the tea, so I have a little coffee blend that I made, and I will make that available in the Botanica. It just kind of depends on what you guys want, because I know that I'm not sure. I wasn't sure about the coffee blend. It wasn't that I wasn't sure about it, I just wasn't sure how open you guys will be to it, but I'm pretty sure that people drink coffee. So if you would like for me to drop the coffee blend that specifically I made for pain relief during periods, feel free to let me know. I can absolutely make it available, but as of now, it's just a little something, just a little something that I do, because I don't always want to drink tea. Like, let's be real, I want to mix it up too, just like everybody else. But yeah, guys, so this is pretty much how I like to say I cured my period, even though that's not really a thing, because it's not like your period is a disease. But I feel like I've more so mastered the art of self-care during my period so that it doesn't feel like a curse. It more so feels like, you know, I understand that this is a time that my body really wants me to focus on, what I can do to care for it. My body wants me to really tune in and see, like, okay, whatever I did during the last period might not be good for me during this period, because my body wants something different. So if anything, I feel like it's just a moment where we really get to tune into self. We really get to practice self-care in its ultimate and most effective state, because this is the time where your body is literally crying out for you. You know what I'm saying? So before it starts to like, you know, wail, before the cry turns into a wail, let's tune into our bodies and see what it's asking for. I hope that this video was helpful, guys. If you have any more questions about your periods or any other proactive methods that you guys do that you think would be helpful, feel free to drop them down below in the comments. I'm so glad that we got a chance to chop it up, guys, and I hope that you guys have a legendary day. Peace. See you later.